Okay. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my very first live stream titled Isolated, Afraid, and Going Insane. I think this has been a long time coming. I am someone that loves to yap, but usually has no one to yap to. And I think that I'm not the only person that feels alone and going crazy during this time in our lives. I think that for me, I'm 25 years old and I have spent so long trying to make friends in a conventional way. Like you go out, you meet people, and you try to connect with them in some way or shape or form, right? And I think the one thing that has gotten me so fed up with the traditional way that I've been trying to make friends is that everyone is siloed into their own algorithms on their phone. Everyone is siloed into their own algorithms on their phone. And I think that with that being said, when you meet someone that you on paper have a lot in common with, it's actually far more difficult to try to create a meaningful relationship with them because they are so convinced of their own worldview and their own very specific algorithm that they've been doing online. And I'm saying this from a place of I'm a Gen Z person, you know? And I recently, oh my God, I've been struggling with some mental health issues, right? Like everyone, like everyone. And I have found that when it comes to making friends and when it comes to I was going to this queer mental health support group for the longest, right? And I had built out this Discord called the Queer Houston Queer Mental Health Support Group Discord, right? And there was like over 50 people in it by the time I left it. And I left it because I found that all they wanted to do was go to like lesbian and like gay parties, and like that's not there's nothing wrong with that per se, but I was actually trying to start like a mutual support, like a mutual aid system where like you could post your profile and say, hey, these are the things that I can contribute to relationships and to friendships, and then here are also the things that I'm looking for friendships and in relationships, right? Only two people posted their what's it called, two people posted their profile outside of mine, and they were so lackluster and so unhelpful when it comes to actually figuring out how you can contribute to their life and how they can contribute to your life. And I was just so disgusted and disturbed with how I was being treated and like how like this whole friendship thing was being treated within this mental health support group. I felt like it was honestly a very enlightening situation. And honestly, I've also tried to go to Stitchin' Bitches, and there was a Stitchin' Bitch that I was going to kind of regularly, that was also queer focused. And I just find that I am so sick of talking to white queer people. Honestly, like I'm so over talking, especially to white queer women. They they don't really understand what friendship really means outside of like what you can do sexually for them. And from what I have gathered, like if you're not a pretty person, if you can't provide a beauty to them that can only be seen, what's it called, within their own context, with like if you can't be like eye candy to a lot of to and I'm not even going to say it's just white queer women, to most people these days, if you cannot be social media ready at any given moment, like for me, this is I I just like being around beauty. I just enjoy being around beauty. I just enjoy being around beautiful things. Like what was stopping me for the longest from like posting online was my closet like there's no door so you can see everything in it, and I'm like, that's just so ugly. That's so ugly. And that just doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, you know? But I'm here now, I'm chatting, and you know, when we're talking about being isolated, afraid, and going insane, hold on. I'm checking stuff right now. Isolated, afraid, and going insane, I think a lot about how I have it's not just me that's going through what I'm going through right now. It's not just me that's going through what I'm going through right now. So many people my age, around 25, between ages of 18, like the Gen Z specifically, we have been fed this lie that social media is where everything is, and it's not even a lie anymore. We are in an age of techno feudalism. We are in an age where the people who have the most power, the most safety, the most love, have the most followers, have the most likes. It's not even like a capitalist system that we're in anymore. And I was watching this Philosophize This YouTube channel, or no, Philosophize This podcast called, yeah, Philosophize This. And it was like talking about techno feudalism and how most people are not, like, we're not in an age of capitalism anymore. We're in an age of who has the most views online. And I've realized now that, like, all the ways that I've been trying to make friends and all the ways I've been trying to get validation in an age of techno feudalism, it's not going to be able to work out. It's not going to be able to come in fruition in an age where all my friends care about is how many followers, how many likes you have online. I've written a book. I've written a book, and I'm writing a book series right now called The Near Biblical Adventures of Diamond Dahlia, right? And it is actually so enlightening to realize that most literary agents only really care about how many followers you have, because that's really what's going to show, like, the turnaround numbers. If you have the numbers of fans already behind you, then you will actually have a book signing and a book offer, you know? And they don't want to say this. They want to tell you, they want to say yes. They want to tell you, they want to what's it called? Book you. They want to tell you all these things. They want to tell you that it's about how good your writing is. But if you don't put a social media handle in there, and if you don't have a few thousand followers, my goal right now is to just get, I don't know, 1,000 followers or subscribers or something somewhere. Because I saw online, some artist online was explaining how if you just had 1,000 people, like true 1,000 fans or whatever, to like love your work, then you are able to live a little bit more freely, live a little bit more comfortably as an artist. And I want to be an artist. I want to be a writer. I like this live streaming thing, you know, whatever. I like watching live streamers, and I have found that I am deeply jealous of most of the live streamers that I consume. Deeply jealous of them, because I'm like, you can just sit around here all day and yap. You can just sit around here all day and yap. And like, I have to go to work every day, and I have to sit around here and like do this 9 to 5 job. I don't know. Anyway, now I'm sitting here and I'm gonna yap, and hopefully these streams will reach someone somewhere that is looking for a friend like me, or looking for someone like me. And I think that for me right now, it's so difficult to actually come up with a real game plan on social media, because I've noticed that people who don't have a game plan on social media and people who do just yap are the ones that end up actually getting all of the interactions or whatever. And yeah, I just think that I'm gonna get into the practice of coming out here every morning and live streaming. And that's going to be my practice. That's going to be my social practice. Anything else is bust. Anything else is bust. God, I I feel like such a drama queen whenever I talk like this and whenever I like just let myself rip like this. But I think it's coming from a place of I've seen how we're all cracking online right now. I've seen how we're all cracking. I just got out of a psychiatric hospital like last week, right? And the only reason I even put myself in that psychiatric hospital was because I felt like my social systems were failing me and I needed actual support. And I'm a truth teller, and that's something that my family kind of really hates because I do come from a narcissistic family system. And they don't really like that I'm someone that will tell the truth at any given moment about how I'm feeling and about how I'm being treated and about the world around me, because it doesn't look well to them that like a daughter of them that looks like this is struggling so deeply. I saw online that the dating apps, they're down like by 92% since they first came on site. And people, 80% of Gen Z have said that they have experienced some sort of um, burnout when it comes to dating online. And the problem is, most dating has to be done online these days. And most dating has to be done online in some way, shape, or form these days. And I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate that most people are siloed off into their rooms. Like, we can't even afford to pay rent. My people my age, I make the most money out of anyone in my like immediate friend group or people around me. And I still don't feel comfortable going out and paying rent because I will have to pay rent for something that is actually like really crappy. And then I have to pay and I have to save money, and I also have to live my life. And having mental health issues. Oh my god. And then on top of all of this, trying to eat healthy and cook at home when I live with family members or a family member specifically that is extremely mean to me. How can I possibly not eat out? How can I possibly not have mental health issues in a situation that is seemingly built to create the only space for me to go is online? Only space for me to do is on social media right now. It's sick. It's a sick world we live in. And for the longest, I was trying to post YouTube videos, but frankly, I am not someone that likes to edit things. I am not someone that likes to, I don't really care about editing stuff. I'll go online and I'll yap. And that's my goal, is to just yap right now. And whoever comes and watches, And I'm also just trying to, market my book, The Near Biblical Adventures of Diamond Dahlia. Click the link below if you want to learn more about it. It's a 4-part book series: Genesis, Chronicles, Esther, and Revelations. And since this is my first stream, I do think I want to give myself the opportunity to not have to talk the entire time or like talk for 10, 15, 20 minutes. How long have I been going? Let's see. For 14 minutes now. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to have a better plan than just saying isolated, afraid, and going insane. But I just wanted to give myself a chance to try to live stream and to give myself the opportunity to just post without any fear of repercussion or any fear that like I've put a bunch of work into something and it's not going to work out for me, And I think that hopefully with this daily practice of live streaming, I will come into a few more friendships or people online that feel the same way that I do. Because I already see it. Like, oh my god, D'Angelo Wallace, he just posted this video talking about, like, does anyone else feel like they're never gonna be happy? Oh my god. I couldn't even finish it because I was like triggered. I was triggered. I was triggered because I was not mentally prepared to have such a vulnerable moment with one of my favorite YouTubers. D'Angelo Wallace is one of my favorite YouTubers. I was not mentally prepared to have such a vulnerable moment with him. And it's inspired me to come up here and speak freely and regardless of how I'm being perceived. Because you know what? I know my book and my writing and the things that I say and the things that I do are awesome and impeccable and amazing. I know these things. And it sucks that I have to live in such a situation where I need to get numbers and validations and people outside of my person to validate me in order to live freely, in order for me to have the freedom to move out of my family's house, move out of my grandmother's house. It sucks. But if this is what I need to do, if I need to bump trying to make friends, I'm not going to that queer mental health support group anymore because they were not fucking helpful to me anymore. They were not helpful. Okay? I'm just going to focus on live streaming. I'm just going to focus on taking care of myself. I'm just going to focus on writing. And to anyone that watches this, whatever you want to do, like, lock in. Lock in. I saw this one woman online talking about how friends, what's it called? Only weak women need friends. And like that hit. That hit so hard for me. And she starts explaining how most friend groups these days, they have this ringleader and they have flying monkeys, and it's actually a narcissistic family system, but under the guise of friendship. And I've been in situations with friends that they just want to say that we're friends, or they just want to say that, you know, we're good friends. But saying things is so different from the actual action. I'm so sick of people not texting me back. I'm so because they take me for granted. And I feel like there's many people out there like me that have this same issue. And it breaks my heart. It truly breaks my heart. Tomorrow, I'm going to come on with a little bit more of a plan for what I want to talk about on here. I have some plans, and I have a whole idea about focusing on relationships and what relationships mean to the average person. Because I know that the word relationships, we usually think about romantic relationships. We usually put that one as our most important one to discuss and the most important one to, be discussing. But we have relationships with literally we have a relationship with the concept of relationships. Relationships is, like, I'm going to get into it later. I'm going to get into it tomorrow. Or later. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I am going to stop streaming now, even though I love yapping. And I will make a plan for tomorrow on what I want to discuss. Thank you so much for watching in advance. Goodbye.